How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Rich. Good to see you, man. Thanks for taking my question.
Good, buddy. What do you got for me tonight?
Well, first, I want to tell you that I think you're doing great work. I think you help a lot of people,
Mm,
and I really appreciate it.
yeah.
Second thing I got to tell you is that I came to know of you. I'm one of those people who came to know of you through your interview with Andrew Clavin. So
Okay.
I know that categorizes me at a TradCon. That's okay. I've been
No,
called
that's
worse.
cool.
Anyway, so my question revolves around the iron rule number 6 that I'm struggling with. Uh,
What is the sixth iron rule?
Well,
Sorry.
a woman cannot love you the way you expect her to be able to love you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that they love transactionally, conditionally,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
opportunistically,
Yeah.
and so I'm not exactly red pilled. I'm working on it, but I'm way far away from it. But
Hmm.
in my mind, I'm trying to figure this out. If we're red pilled and we see the code in the matrix and we understand that a woman cannot reciprocate love the way we expect it to be, then as red pill, we're supposed to be then able to guard ourselves, to protect ourselves, to prevent ourselves from getting emotionally invested in that woman because we know she can't reciprocate.
Hmm.
And so if that's our mode of operation, then I say,
Okay. So let me just
where do
deal
we
with
go
one
from
thing
there?
at a time because I know that you got a few ideas here, and I want to answer sort of like one
Okay.
thing at a time. So one of the things you said is that a woman can't love you in a way that you expect her to love you, which is true, right? Like women love a man under the condition that he's useful.
Right.
Chris Rock said it in his stand-up
Yeah.
Tambourine.
Okay.
Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved under the condition they provide something,
Yeah.
right? So now that's not to say that a woman can't love you or that you can't love a woman, right? Like I love my girlfriend and she loves me immensely, right? But I'm acutely aware that if I stop chasing excellence, fall flat on my ass, I get fat, I'm out of shape, I'm not able to make money, she's probably going to bounce. And that's okay, right? So it's like, the whole point of the red pill is not to piss you off or not to you know, get you to the point where you keep women at a distance or that you don't like fall for them sort of thing. It's like, no, have a relationship with a woman, have a relationship with multiple women if that's what you want to do. But just understand their nature.
Right. 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 But if you know up front that they
Mhm.
cannot invest emotionally in the way that you need them to,
Yeah, it's not, to
alienate you,
love.
so why do I bother?
Yeah, it's not in sickness and health until, death do us part sort of thing. Like, they,
So I guess in some ways I'm trying to avoid becoming black pilled because I am starting to become distanced from the whole idea of investing emotionally in a woman.
mhm.
But then I say to myself, well, then what's the point? What's the point of any of it if I can't? It's like uh, is it better to have a nice car, drive it for a while, and total it by smashing into a tree, or is it better to never have had the car at all?
Mhm.
And so, is it better to emotionally invest in a woman, knowing that she can't reciprocate, knowing that you're going to get hurt, or is it better to not invest emotionally in a woman at all? And I can't resolve it.
No, you're asking good questions and you're dealing with the standard stuff that every tradcon that's been watching that side of the internet always deals with when they come across my stuff, right? Like I wasn't expecting Andrew Clavin's team to call me up and say, "Hey, we don't, we want to have you on the show." I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm happy to talk about that." I knew most people weren't going to agree with it, but if somebody wanted to listen and hear what I had to say, cool. So you're at the point where you're like, okay, this guy Rich, said some interesting things, and I want to check it out, and I've checked it out now, and now it makes sense. But now I have this new challenge, that I'm
Yeah,
dealing with.
yeah.
How old are you?
Oh, don't ask, please. Don't make me say the number.
I'm guessing 50s.
65, man, 65.
Okay, good. So, where do you live? In,
At the moment, I'm in North Carolina.
okay. And what are you coming across in the dating landscape as you're kind of out and about doing your thing?
Well, I just got out of an LTR just a few
Hmm.
months ago, and I honest to God, I haven't been eager to jump back into anything.
Yeah.
I'm not naturally a plate spinner, but I
Hmm.
do have, I am able to generate a little charisma when I'm motivated. What I guess what you guys call game, we used to call just uh, charisma or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
so I haven't been even trying to get back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in this area, say, it's a religious area, but it's not like there's a shortage of opportunity. Let's put it that way.
Okay. And what happened with the last lady that you were dating? Why did that not work out?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, well, it definitely became beta-tized, no question about it, even more so.
Have you read
Uh,
my book?
uh, I'm reading you and Rollo right now.
Okay.
I've watched many of your podcasts, and I agree with everything you say.
Okay.
I'd say I'm not exactly able to implement it the way that I know it should be implemented.
Okay. So you went through betatization through 1,000 concessions.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and she got bored, and I did all the wrong things as far as trying to make myself into something that I thought she would appreciate more.
Yeah.
All the same things. So yeah, she eventually bounced.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, you're kind of new to this, and I mean, it's like teaching an old dog new tricks. You come across the information you're like, oh shit, that's interesting. I kind of felt that, and I kind
Yeah,
of experienced that, but I just didn't really know how to put a fine point on it. And now that I've seen the fine point, it's like that kind of changes the game a little bit. And you look at you look at the game, you look at women, you're like, wow, is this really worth it? Basically, is what you're asking me, right?
well,
And
yeah,
I mean, the truth of the matter is if you still subscribe to old world thinking, if you still subscribe to plugged in thinking, it's not worth it, right? You can't you can't spit up the red pill once you've taken it. It's like, okay, now you've seen the code in the matrix, you know what things are all about. And if you understand women's true nature and you accept it for what it is and you play the game, sort of thing, you'll be just fine. Dude, like there's lots of guys in my community. Like we chop this up all the time, right? Like there's lots of guys in my community. Like some guys are red pilled, some guys are maybe a little bit black pilled, some guys have been called somewhat nihilistic, but they're not, sort of thing. And it's like, you know what? You just kind of figure out what works for you and where you are in your life. And that's all that the concept of putting yourself first really is. It's like, what's good for nonstop? What matters to me? What am I going to tolerate? What am I not going to tolerate? When she starts to try to betatize me and, push me through all these concessions, I'm going to resist and I'm going to hold my frame, right? Look, dating women is a lot easier than getting into long-term relationships with women because when you're in a long-term relationship, you don't have other options. You're generally going to go through the process of betatization. It's just, to what extent, like you're all going to go through it. And there's higher risk involved, right? Because when you invite a woman into your life, if you start living with her or if you start living in a way that looks like marriage to the state, she all of a sudden could be entitled to half of your shit, right?
right.
If you do it wrong or if things go about, the wrong way, depending on what state laws are. So it's like, okay, knowing all those facts and that, you're basically marching through some like a tool shed and it's windy outside. Maybe there's a tornado coming and a bunch of sharp things might, fly off the wall and hit you. You kind of make a, decision and, think to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to navigate this a little bit differently. Right.
Well, so one of the things you said, I think, that really answered the question was that it is actually possible to have a loving relationship, even though
I
she's
have
loving
one.
you in a different way than what you
I
are
have one. Yeah, absolutely, man. I've been with my girl for a while. She's a great chick. She complements my life. She's not the focus of it. She ticks off all the boxes. She doesn't have, the red flags that I talk about in my chapter. She's got a lot of the green flags that I talk about in my new book, sort of thing. Right. Like there's good women out there that you can have a relationship with and you'll have a good experience if you're a solid guy that's unplugged and you got good frame and you know how to navigate things properly, right? But I mean, like you can't walk into it blindly thinking, well, I love her and she loves me and we fell in love with each other in that time when we watched the sunset in Cancun, blah blah fucking blah. All that stuff doesn't matter, 2 years down the road if you've lost your job and you're not making any money or something happens and then she's looking around going, well, nonstop is not the guy that I signed up for. Things have changed. All of a sudden, Kevin from sales looks better, and she starts talking to that guy instead and bounces on you. And you're going to have to be okay with that,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I guess what I have to be okay with, again, trying to understand what you're saying here, is I have to be okay with the fact that I know that she cannot love me with the same capacity that I'm loving her. I just
She
have
doesn't.
to be okay with that.
She can love you in this. at the same capacity, but not in the same capacity, right? So 10 out of 10, head over heels in love with her. 10 out of 10, head over heels in love with me. Okay.
Yeah.
But she loves me differently than I love her.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
it's the same level of love. Okay.
Okay.
So love is love in that regard, but it's different in the regard why she's there and why she loves you. Women love men for what they are.
Yeah.
For what he can provide. And you have to be okay with that. And it's why I tell guys, like, don't sulk over it. Don't be a little bitch. Don't sit around watching like black pill content crying about it. If you're fat, lose the weight. If you're poor, make the money. If you're boring, be captivating. Find interesting hobbies. If you don't have influence, be influential, right? It's like that just happens to be what women are attracted to. But you don't do it to get the girls. You do it for yourself because you want to be a top shelf man.
Well, I think, and again, this might be the TradCon thing coming up, but I think that most men really want a deep, meaningful relationship with a woman.
They do.
And,
they absolutely do.
And if you can't be sure that she has the same sort of emotional depth that you have, it undermines your confidence in that relationship.
Yeah, but I mean, look, man, as long as a chick looks at you like you're her best hypergamous option, all other guys will be invisible. She will truthfully be in love with you. But you have to be the kind of guy that a woman's going to fall for, right? I mean, if you're not ticking off all the boxes for her, then something else looks interesting to her and she has a capacity to get it because she's attractive enough and she knows how to wiggle around, sort of thing. She'll potentially go get it, sort of thing. And you just got to be okay with that, right? It's like, women are just that way. Like, that's just the way women are, right? And you can't blame them because, evolutionary speaking, if they didn't do what was best for them and their offspring, they would have died. Right? So it's a feature. It's not a bug of the system, right? And if you understand the features of the system, then you're like, okay, well, I'm that guy anyway, so whatever. I mean, and then that's when you have a great listen, man, that's when you truthfully have a great experience dealing with the opposite sex, is when you're the top shelf guy, you got good game, you're captivating, you're frame, like, you deal with all that stuff. It's like, if a chick gets out of line or she's got a bunch of red flags that she's not dealing with, sort of thing, then you don't settle for her. You don't invite her into your life. You don't take vacations with her. You don't date her on a long-term basis. You look for a better option. You keep her at arm's length. Maybe she's just a friends with benefits. I don't know, but it's incumbent upon you as a guy to make these decisions for yourself and what's best for you. Right? Yeah, nobody can tell you what's best for you. You need to decide for yourself. And that's all that I'm trying to do here, with these podcasts and my book and everything I'm doing, is I'm trying to give guys the knowledge and give them the power to make the decisions for themselves so they can have a better experience at life as a guy, right? I mean, if you listen to me long enough, I will brainwash you into thinking for yourself.
Well, I'll keep listening for sure. I've gotten a lot out of your stuff, and I really appreciate all you do. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Take care. See you, man. Hey, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.